We are Movie Menu Reviews.
I did not hit her. I did not. It's bullshit. I did not. Oh, hi, Dan.
On today's menu, we'll be reviewing The Disaster Artist. Welcome, ladies and gents. I'm Dan the Man Muñoz, host of Movie Menu Reviews, live on Facebook. Your weekly movie news and reviews podcast. I am joined by special guest Alexander Dunn.
Oh, hi, Dan.
Hi, Alex. Also here today is our co-host and senior panelist, Z.
Oh, hi, Z.
Oh, hi, Dan.
Also here is my co-host, Mike Stay.
Hey.
Oh, hi, Mike.
Oh, hi, Dan.
So
You're my favorite host.
So thank you so much, Alex, for being on the show. We're so happy that you're here.
Of course.
So we have a bit of movie news to go ahead and get started to talk about. First up, let's do some trailer reactions.
Oh, yeah.
Or trailer reviews, I should say. First one up is Avengers Infinity War. The trailer just dropped last week.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, what did you think of this trailer?
People gonna die. I mean, at least I hope they're gonna die. That's kind of my big takeaway. It looks like
Actually, I don't think anyone's gonna die.
You don't think so?
No.
Isn't that?
I think people are gonna get injured, but I don't think anyone's gonna die.
Yeah.
Who do you think would die?
I mean, I think they're dying the fourth one. I think this is just a setup for that.
I know. I feel like it's. I don't know. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks quite clearly like the Vision's gonna get fucked up pretty badly in this one.
Got it.
Yeah.
You think they gave it away in the trailer?
I think they did, but I think they needed to. To be quite honest, like you kind of needed a sort of like a reason to watch this and believe that it could be better than the previous ones.
Yeah.
The whole Vision being created is through the Soul Gem. So, and one of those gems is the Infinity Stone. So it's kind of self-explanatory that
he needs it.
Thanos needs it.
Well, they kind of give that away in the trailer.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And I think the other thing that's kind of given away in the trailer is that one of the missing gems is in Wakanda, because the big battle of the trailer is in Wakanda, so that makes sense why the Black Panther movie comes before this movie. So I'm excited to see Black Panther.
Yeah, I was just watching this trailer just even got me more excited to watch Black Panther. So I'm even more hyped, double hyped for next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I got some movie watching to do. I still haven't seen Thor Ragnarok, so I gotta see Thor Ragnarok.
You haven't seen Thor Ragnarok?
Gotta see Black Panther.
I'm there with you too.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Thor. I haven't seen Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
There's another one I feel like I haven't seen. I haven't seen Ant-Man. I don't know the one matters.
I haven't seen.
If you've seen Civil War and didn't need it, then you're fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I guess I don't need to see Ant-Man.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm excited to see it still. It looks fun. It looks like there'll be tons of explosions.
Yeah. And let's remember, this is not a Joss Whedon film anymore, right? This is now the Russo brothers. So it's a definitely, and so if you watched Civil War,
they're 2 for 2.
Yeah, they are, and they're really good.
That's more than unfortunately what Joss can say.
Yeah. So I'm excited only because it's the Russo brothers doing an actual Avenger film, whereas the previous one, the Civil War film, was like
Captain America.
Yeah, it was Avengers Light. So this looks like an actual war, and it looks fun. So I'm up for it. I think this is going to be amazing.
Yeah, Rigo says everyone must die. No, Rigo.
I agree.
I'll be negative.
No, I kind of agree. I feel like you need to lose Scarlet Witch, you need to lose the Vision, you need to lose some of the big hitters like Spider-Man. Like
I think Scarlet Witch.
He's not going to get killed. He's not going to get killed. He's just going to get really, really injured.
I think Scarlet Witch is going to be like the savior almost, but we'll see. I don't think she can.
Well, that's the thing, though, right? The Scarlet Witch is such a heavy hitter that Thanos wouldn't make sense as to why he would need to take her off the board. My other question is this, and I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but there's a backlash on the way that Thanos looks, and I don't understand it. Can you guys explain that to me?
It's just Uncanny Valley, I guess. It's just he looks really like not. He. From what I understand, Steppenwolf was all CGI.
Yes,
and was really bad CGI.
Really bad, yeah.
And this is like maybe 5 notches better.
Yeah, no, I thought he looked fine in this. He looks great.
He didn't bother me.
Yeah.
Didn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
But,
But
you know,
That's a
people,
thing.
it's the
I'm
internet.
surprised people are angry.
Yeah.
People is the internet. People get angry for
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
people have been
everything.
commenting he looks like a raisin, and I'm like, yeah, he does look like a raisin.
Doesn't he actually look like? In
Yeah,
the comic
that's
books?
exactly
Yeah.
how he looks. Exactly, like except he doesn't have the helmet, which is the big difference, right?
Oh.
You
Before-
know, people are like having the memes like put a hat on him.
yeah,
It's a hat.
yeah,
Well, maybe he'll wear it at some point.
Yeah,
Maybe he'll get it at the end of the movie.
yeah. My favorite is when somebody turned him into yellow, and he looks like Homer Simpson.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
That's
I see that. Yeah.
probably the best one.
You know,
That's
I
pretty
think
good.
you're right.
That's the only like backlash I have is like he kind of looks like Homer.
He kinda
Well,
does.
let's talk about what's your favorite moment in this trailer. I have a couple.
Yeah, well, I think seeing Cap with the beard is the right way of going with that character. You see an aged, I mean, as much as you can age a super soldier, an aged and at that like battle scarred Steve Rogers. He's also not wearing a shield; he's wearing gauntlets, which is kind of interesting.
Or
too.
it could be the projected shield that's not an actual.
It could, but I feel like he's going to get a shield by the end of that movie for sure.
Well, he's in Wakanda. I mean, vibranium is
exactly.
right there.
Yeah.
But my favorite, I have two favorites. So my first favorite is Peter Parker getting his Spidey senses,
Right.
because we did not get that in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah. So for you
So
guys
it's
who
cool
didn't
to
watch
see-
Spider-Man,
Sorry.
he didn't actually
Sorry.
have it. That's
Oh man, movie's ruined. I'm not gonna see it.
And then at the end when Thor meets the Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yeah,
I
definitely.
geeked out. I was like, yes, it's all coming together.
I'm a little
Yeah.
bummed out though because that scene, right? That's a scene that was shown during the Comic-Con trailer, and the Comic-Con trailer had a much funnier introduction to the Guardians and Thor, where the Guardians are driving and then they run over Thor, and then they're like try to like get him off with the wiper, but they can't. I guess it would have been too humorous at this point in the trailer, but I would have preferred seeing something like that.
No, thanks for ruining that, because
It's it's a trailer. You
yeah,
can
but in the Comic-Con trailer that not many people have seen. Like I haven't seen that trailer.
find it on Vimeo.
Oh.
But that would have been fun surprise in the theater. Thank you, Z.
You're welcome.
Did you guys have a favorite moment?
I think just the Guardians. Same. I think Guardians are like my favorite part of the Marvel universe, and since after Guardians, the first one came out, so I think seeing them just kind of being in this big group of people is super awesome.
Agreed.
Yeah. I think that's two different worlds that we've been waiting for them to join up, and it just makes sense to do it this way.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you should watch Thor Ragnarok. It's
I'm really hyped for that.
yeah.
I think
It's
I'm gonna
really
love it.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems super massive. It seems like Lord of the Rings Part 2 or 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
There's
I
like a
could-
bunch of characters.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
seems like there's a
Well,
lot.
it's a
going on.
culmination of like 10 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
26 movies.
I don't even know.
Yeah, something like that. And what I like is that it starts where we expect it to start, New York, and from the trailer. I mean, assuming they haven't hidden anything, you see it ending in Wakanda. So like it starts where we know.
Well, I don't know, because there's like a different planet as well.
There's also
where Thanos punches Tony
Xandar.
Stark.
That's Xandar. Yeah. So that's Xandar, the planet where
The Infinity Stone.
one of the Infinity Stones is
the
that. Yeah.
Aether.
Yeah. So it's interesting how they're using all of the canvas.
Well, I
to
think it's
paint
safe
the
to assume
stone.
that Xandar, we don't know for sure yet.
Yeah, it's the right color.
And I'm just wondering where they're gonna go from here. I know they're gonna do another movie.
Yeah.
But when they're done with that movie,
Well,
what do they do?
Kevin
I
Feige came out
that's
saying that after Avengers 4, this universe is gonna do what other universes don't do, and it's gonna end.
Interesting.
So they're gonna do something new for the next universe.
What?
Wow.
What do you-
Some people are. That's what I'm saying. I don't
like
think people are gonna.
reboot?
I don't know about reboot or like flash forward or something, or focus on another part of the universe.
Oh,
of
man.
Avengers time.
interesting.
But that's why I don't think they're gonna die in the third movie. I think
They're
lots
gonna
are
die
in the fourth. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're gonna restart.
Well, like
Oh, interesting.
right, and I mean, I'm just basing it off the comic books, but like Battle World will be really cool to see.
I want to see House of M.
House. Well, you would need mutants into that. You would
Well,
need the
this-
addition.
The way that it's set up now will be fine.
Yeah. No, I think House of M. Right, because Fox
Because
is
it's basically like she makes people believe what they are, and like
Yeah.
Peter Parker could be normal, and then
she gives them
Iron
all
Man,
their wishes.
and Tony Stark could be married to Pepper Potts without anything. And
Yeah.
there's possibilities. Thor could be the king of Asgard, and nothing ever happened. Stuff like that. It could be
Yeah.
interesting.
It would be an interesting, like
They could do
what
a
if,
setup.
if
Yeah, what
anything.
if.
Yeah. Mhm.
I know. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next trailer we're gonna review, which is
Mhm.
pretty exciting. Is Batman Ninja.
That was not intentional.
I feel like every laugh I've done since that sounds like it, so I can't get it out of my head either.
That was not intentional.
Oh, you did that? I thought Alex did that.
No, that was
No,
me.
that wasn't me.
That was just me laughing at your Batman Ninja.
It's pretty good.
So, what do you guys think about this trailer? This anime that that the trailer just came out for it. And
Super hyped.
Yeah,
it
super
looks amazing. I'm
yeah.
very excited for
So
this.
I don't watch anime. You guys were getting excited while watching the trailer. There were a lot of names being popped up. Who's making this film that like got you guys excited?
I think the music is one big one because this
Okay.
guy who did this, there's an anime called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which has really cool music. And what was the other one? Psychopaths. And both those are really,
Psychopaths
are
as
really
well,
cool.
Yeah.
The main guy who's doing it, I think, wrote it, is writing. Who wrote Afro Samurai, which is really
I
cool.
did see
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I've never seen
Yeah.
Afro Samurai.
Afro Samurai is really cool. I mean, it had like
it's
Samuel
very
Jackson
fun
in it.
show.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah.
a very fun show.
The
Okay.
animation's
I
like
recommend it.
really awesome.
It is.
So that's I think what I'm
Yeah.
most excited for.
But the movie won't come out for another 2 years, right?
I think I'm wrong. I thought that earlier. I said that, but I guess it is 2018.
2018.
I
Oh,
saw
It's
some.
in
right. Oh,
IMDb, but it could be 2018 and like international and the 2019
Yeah.
domestically.
Maybe that's
potential.
very
or something like
possible.
that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
who knows?
I feel like this is a movie worth waiting for too, because it's really like it's expanding on a concept that we all love, which is the Batman story. It's doing something out of like the death of Bruce Wayne, which is like him traveling through time. So it looks really cool, and for my nerd.
And we gotta say, there's 2 trailers. So
Oh yeah, you have to watch both.
Yeah, you have to watch both.
Yeah,
It's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Part 3.
but good.
don't reference
But-
that
but
movie.
good.
You dick. That's a bad reference.
It's kind of, they travel back in time and they're samurais.
Yeah.
But except this looks
Well,
like 10 times
Yeah,
more amazing,
except Batman is already kind of
Oh.
trained in that, so it
It
kind
sure
of
looks-
it just fits that it's in that world, and like
The Joker looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
so
looks-
cool.
Looks kind of like the villain in Death Note.
oh,
Oh,
interesting.
yeah,
Like the
Yeah.
demon.
The
Yeah,
Shinigami.
right.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, light. No, that's
no.
a kid.
No, the Shinigami, which are like the big, like.
Yeah.
Death
Yeah,
gods.
yeah,
Yeah.
Death God,
Yeah.
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 It looks just like that,
So
except
I didn't even
with,
think about that.
yeah, it
Yeah,
looks really cool.
The animation looks amazing.
Mhm.
I'm definitely gonna watch this in theaters once it comes out.
Yeah.
We'll review it.
Yes.
You can review it. No,
Yeah,
I'll watch
yeah,
it. I'll
I'm
definitely
super
watch
I
it.
know. who are you guys kidding? Like, we're gonna watch it in theaters.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
for
Absolutely.
sure.
Yeah.
On that note, let's go ahead and move on to the review for The Disaster Artist.
I did not do it.
All right, so I did see this movie, so I'm not going to be hosting. I haven't hosted any review this whole season, and
Oh,
I'm okay
wow.
with that.
Have you not?
I don't think so. Maybe I have.
He has not.
I have not. It's bullshit. I did not. I did not. I did not. Okay, so I'm going to toss the host news over to Z because you did not see the movie.
I did
so.
not.
No, you did not.
I did not. All right. The movie we're reviewing is The Disaster Artist, directed by James Franco, written by Scott Neustadter and Michael H. Weber, based off of the book The Disaster Artist by Greg Sestero and Tom Bizell.
Or Tom Bissell, whichever.
Wait, see, do you? Oh, okay. Do you know anything about that person? Is that
No, I'm just saying. Just,
Just throwing it
just
out
in
there.
case.
okay? All right. It's
Covering all bases.
covering all bases. All right, starring James Franco and Dave Franco, but with a myriad of people who are in this film.
Tons of people.
Tons of
Mhm,
people
lots
who are
of
in this film. Here's the plot. When Greg Sestero, an aspiring film actor, meets the weird and mysterious Tommy Wiseau in an acting class, they form a unique friendship and travel to Hollywood to make their dreams come true. Ha ha ha. Now, depending on your spoiler for review, I will decide if this movie's worth a dine in, watch it
Does
in
this
theater.
really need to be spoiler free?
Yes,
I mean,
maybe
it's history.
it is history.
I had this debate with someone earlier today about
Yeah.
it being history.
All right.
Like,
Well, I mean, no. Let's try our best.
Meaning that we don't
Yeah.
need to. That it doesn't need to be spoiler free.
We know that this is a cult favorite. We know that nobody dies in this. Does anybody die in this?
Nobody died.
Okay, great. So I guess
in this or in the room.
in the real world, don't
Okay.
spoil the room, please.
Oh, okay. I guess there's a spoiler.
Yeah, there's a line there. Okay, so back to it. Depending on spoiler for review, I would decide this movie's worth dining in, watch it in theaters, take out, watch it at home, or leftovers. spend an evening with Greg. No, not with Tommy. Tommy Wiseau. Ha ha ha! I did not.
That's not worth the leftovers. I feel like that would be very interesting. So
Would it though?
Pick something better.
He's a really weird dude.
He might try to have sex with your belly button. So I don't know. If you
Okay,
want that.
so maybe leftovers have Tommy have sex with your belly button.
Yeah, that
could happen.
Jesus. All right. Now, whoever wins will earn a point. And whoever has the most points at the end of the season will develop a segment that will air. Alex, because you are a guest, you can choose to either donate your point to any one of us or keep your points as they do now roll over. I guess you have to collect 10, and then you either choose between a boba drink and either choosing a segment of your
Oh, really?
Yes.
Sweet.
Decisions.
I'm going for that point. I want that boba.
You want that boba? Most people do.
I know. Unfortunately, we're excluded from that.
Yeah, we don't get boba.
We don't get boba.
No.
But
No boba for you.
guests do.
Sweet.
All right.
Goals right now.
Yeah.
So many goals.
Seriously, though. All right, guys. Now, I also have not seen, for the audience, I have not seen The Room. I have only seen clips of The Room. But I've
Blasphemy.
I've heard of how terrible it is. So with that being said, rate this film. Since you're our guest, you get to go first.
All right. I will say dine in for
Right.
sure.
Okay. Dan?
Definite dine-in.
Okay.
Watching in theaters.
And Mike?
I will say dine-in as well.
Okay.
Oh.
So
Nice.
3 dine-ins back to back.
Yeah.
Though Z doesn't agree with
yeah,
it.
I don't agree with you guys
would-
doing the review for Justice League, you bunch of sellouts.
I would say, but one thing I would mention is obviously if you're not a fan of the phenomena of The Room,
Yes.
or
Phenomena. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Phenomena.
like I don't know if you'll enjoy this film as much.
So that's
Definitely.
why I am playing the host. I have not seen The
Yeah.
Room. I don't know about
Yeah.
this weird Cistero guy and all of them really. Like I have no idea who Tommy is, but I've seen and kind of observe his weirdom. So tell me about the story of this film. Like I'm guessing it's a behind the scenes film. Like it tells you what led up to making this film. Do you care about the characters? What's the story about? Like tell me about that.
The story is so we've all seen The Room itself.
Nope.
Yeah.
I just said I did.
We've
No,
seen
the us, the
that
three of
we've
us, the
seen
people
it.
are reviewing.
Okay.
Which you, yeah.
yes.
So when watching that, we have no idea who these people are, what's going on at all. Like we just think these people are crazy. They're bad actors. They're bad at this. But there's like a level of genius of how bad they are, though.
Yeah, true.
But when you watch this and you see it dissected, it's basically a film about 2 best friends,
Okay.
Yeah.
and it's a friendship film, and it's very charming. I must say, and it's done. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I just was caught up in it.
Yeah, you definitely feel for characters because it is like in some ways just like a biopic.
Yeah.
But I guess it's weird because I guess it follows 2 people, so it's like a shared biopic in this case where you're following Tommy, more so Greg through his full adventure, but you do get this kind of weird, like you start seeing more about Tommy as well.
Yeah.
Well,
because Tommy is like super, like even now, right? I don't know how long ago was this movie released? The initial one.
2004.
Oh, has it been that long already?
Yeah, he started writing it in 2001. I think he released.
You're right.
Yeah,
I think he released it in 2004.
So it's a film that's been out for a fairly long time, but
And I
nobody.
swear I must have seen it in like 2006. I want to
Okay.
say in theaters.
2003. Sorry.
No.
2003.
When I saw it.
Yeah. So this movie's been around for quite a while, but nobody really still knows anything about Tommy. So what do you? I mean, I'm guessing this film is more about a film that follows Tommy and his weird eccentricness.
Like Alex said, it's more of a Greg Sestero movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we experienced Tommy.
So
because it is written,
yeah.
it's based on Greg's book,
Right.
So you kind of see more of his perspective.
Okay.
In this case.
Yeah. So what's the journey like? What does it look like? Does it feel authentic?
Yeah. I think so.
I have to say, I mean, the acting in this film, which is so funny to say, is really good.
It
actually
It's
is.
really solid.
Yeah, James Franco is.
He's committed. He's very committed.
He's dead on with his Tommy Wiseau delivery, and I was listening to a South by Southwest interview, and they said James Franco actually stayed in character throughout the whole shooting. So there are many scenes in this film of Tommy Wiseau directing The Room.
Yeah.
So he was James Franco as Tommy Wiseau as director for The Disaster Artist, for director for The Room.
Awkward.
They said it was like
super meta.
Super meta?
Yeah, it was super meta.
I heard like the first day of shooting he was naked,
Oh
and
my
like Allison Brie, like there's a scene where he's naked in the actual movie.
Yeah,
and
no,
so, like,
I've seen clips of him in his bare ass, right? Like,
Yeah.
but anyways,
Yeah.
continue.
and he I guess she like walked on the set and he was just like naked, and she's married to Dave Franco, so it's even more weird. It's like your brother-in-law, like just being
Yep.
naked on set and directing
I
you.
mean, we all know that James is the weird Franco.
That's true.
That's true.
Dave's much more normal,
I
and
think-
it
I
kind of
think-
works out that way. In the
I
movie.
think Tommy is his spirit animal. Yeah.
Yeah,
He nailed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he did a really good
Even
job.
Dave
fantastic.
Franco.
Yeah, tell me about
as
Dave.
Greg Sestero. So we saw him in Dubro Massacre 3. He had a small part in that film, and it seems like, because I haven't seen Greg Sestero act in anything else, but I saw him in that film, and he just seems like a really nice guy.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, he does.
and I feel like Dave Franco does a great job at that innocence.
Okay,
He
good.
does.
Yeah, that's good because Dave often plays like the asshole, the bro, like right. Like I'm thinking about 21 Jump Street where he comes out. So did he also come out in the one? Not the sorority.
Yeah,
the
Neighbors.
Neighbors, yeah. So we know him as like the
bro.
Yeah. So you're saying he actually does a much better job in this one of convincing you that he is a nice dude.
He plays like the perfect straight role. Where it's a perfect balance between him and James Franco's Tommy Wiseau,
Okay.
who's obviously and this could also be viewed as like a character film in a way. That's
sure.
how I felt, like just how strange Tommy Wiseau is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
exactly. Like,
but
go ahead.
Isn't it? And it's also weird how strange it is that Greg, or in this case Dave Franco, as the character, like how much he's willing to follow him. Because like at a certain point, you're probably like, this is fucking crazy. Like, what are we doing? You know? And he just was like, we're just gonna keep going with it. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
But it shows his loyalty as a friend.
That's true.
You know, but the I think the friendship.
But also,
is,
like, I feel like it also shows, like, at least someone actually believed in Tommy as well.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he really, like, he was in awe of Tommy. When you first see the film, Dave Franco's character, Greg, is just a terrible actor, and he's
Yeah.
so shy.
Yeah, okay.
Tommy does a scene of, like, he's fearless, and the scene sucks, but but Greg Sestero is like, amazed that he was able to just open up. So that's how, like, the friendship starts through this acting class in San Francisco.
Okay.
And Greg is like, I want to be like you.
Oh man.
yeah, because they're like two sides of like one person in some ways, like
Yeah.
split among like,
Yeah,
like,
one's really,
like-
really timid and tame, and the other one's like extreme, like everywhere.
Yeah.
So
So they're each other's yin and yang.
I'm entirely
Yeah.
off
Yeah.
topic, but like if they were serial killers, you're saying they would be like the perfect pair of serial killers.
yeah, or Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde,
Yeah,
kind of,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
for sure.
Awesome. So there are a ton of actors involved in this film, including Seth Rogen, Ari Grainer, Alison Brie, Jackie Weaver, Paul Scheer, Zac Efron, Judge Hutcherson, Megan Mullally, Jason Mantzoukas. There's a ton of people in this film. How are the supporting cast? Do they help balance this film, or does it feel too much?
It's like a slew of cameos and parts about. It was great. That James Franco was obviously friends with all these people.
Yes.
And he just probably was like, hey, just be in my movie. Like, it doesn't matter.
Does that feel like a bad thing?
No, it's
no,
great.
It's well
Yeah.
done.
Every
It's
time,
well done.
every time you see someone, you're like, hey.
Yeah, if you
hey.
recognize them, you're like, hey. If you didn't recognize them, you would just think that they did a
The
good
Zac
job. as
Efron-
a
But
supporting
it's not
actor.
like they just try to put the friends.
Yeah,
they actually
that's-
try to make them look like the actual people
Yeah,
too.
okay.
So it's
Because
not
that's
like,
what I'm asking. It's like, right, Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, Ocean's 13. Those were all like mass appeal films because like they had like, ooh, look at who's in that
Yeah.
one. Look who's in that shot. You know.
It-
So this
it
film was
but you don't
like
even
that,
know.
no.
You don't even, like. I didn't know there was gonna be some. I knew Seth Rogen and Paul Scheer were in the
Yeah.
movie and Alison Brie, but I was like,
The Zac Efron
Zac
one.
Efron- yeah, Zac
that
Efron,
one's so
Josh-
funny.
Zac Efron.
Did
yeah.
you guys realize it was him the first
No,
time?
not at first.
I didn't know, and then there's like, so he is in the
Yeah.
like I don't know, like
Like
beginning of the movie,
towards
halfway
the
through.
end. I mean, not towards the end, but like
Yeah.
after the scene ended. Yeah, I heard his voice. Oh, that's Zac Efron.
I didn't even realize it was him, and then so like when they reveal it was him and that was the character, I was like, oh, I don't want to ruin like which character he is.
Please,
so like,
yeah.
but it's like he's this one part of the movie, and then you see him later on, and he's like shaved and sorry, maybe that ruins it. Whatever. So but when knowing that was him, you're like, oh, I didn't even realize that was Zac Efron. Like all the people that play that random role, it was like so funny. Like there's a lot of that where I feel like Judd Apatow is like the producer, makes a lot of sense in some ways. Yeah. That's kind of meta in its own way.
Yeah.
Right. Because
James
Franco got his start because of Judd Apatow.
That's true.
That's true.
And Freaks and Geeks, yeah.
And so this him like as that producer like coming to him and trying to get big. It's like
yeah.
I don't weird.
That's funny.
really
That's
cool.
really funny.
Cool. So supporting cast seems to work. I did hear some other reviews that talked about Josh Hutcherson's not fitting in correctly, but I guess that's according to you guys not the case. Give me some cons. What didn't work in this film? I imagine something didn't work because it's my mantra that there is no perfect film.
I think this film, the one thing that hurts in this film may be like the inside joke, where if you come without an awareness of the room.
So do I need to see the room first?
I think you just need to be aware of it. And you need to be aware of Tommy Wiseau. Like what you've already seen, I think that's helpful.
Okay.
But otherwise, I don't think you can fully appreciate the Disaster Artist
Okay.
without that.
I can't believe I'm going to compare these two movies.
Go for
it. It's almost like watching Blade Runner 2049, where if you didn't see the first one, you still enjoy the 2049. Same with this. If you watch The Room, you'll enjoy this a lot more, but you don't have to watch The Room to enjoy this.
Mm-hmm. I think you need to be aware of Tommy Wiseau, and you need to at least see you need to see clips of him and
and I've seen a bunch of them. Yeah.
And I think that'll make you enjoy, or that'll allow you to enjoy the Disaster Artist a lot more, and to really fully appreciate how deep James Franco went with the character.
Right. But even still, now it's a cult classic or whatever, a cult hit. But in that, there's a scene when they premiere the movie, and it was heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking.
So bad.
Well, because he initially thought, this is again from what I've read, he initially thought this film would be a drama, an Oscar nom, but then he started seeing people laughing at his film. And then I'm guessing from what I keep hearing is that he's appeared at Kamikaze, as you said. Yeah. Apparently he switched. He realized that he had a gold mine in the wrong genre and just figured it out.
He's like that's what I intended for it to be a comedy.
Yeah.
You got the whole time.
Everyone got it. Yeah.
Can you do it in his voice?
I can't.
No way. I can only sort of.
Yeah.
It's like the laugh, maybe.
I'm glad you enjoyed my comedy film. Something like that. But is talking about it spoiler? Because that's like towards the end of the film.
No, as we
the
said,
Disaster Artist. Just like the scene you were talking about, the scene that's heartbreaking. Is that spoiler?
Well,
this is history, though. I feel like that's history. So for those who don't know, this film was released and it didn't do well. And instead, it became a cult classic, like Dan's talked about, and so people now see it as like the best comedy ever.
Well, the funny thing is, not only did it come out, it was out for 2 weeks, so that Tommy would hopefully get considered for her Oscar for Academy Awards.
Yeah, but isn't this heartbreak too for him? Like that, everyone's like.
Well, the great thing, the one thing I will say also about the movie, and it really got me interested, is that they really set up the mystery of Tommy. Because,
definitely.
Nobody knows who he is.
Even more.
It goes beyond.
It goes beyond that.
As a character,
backstory.
He has like an apartment in LA because he lives in San Francisco. That's how he meets Greg. That's how he meets Greg in San Francisco. And they're like, "Oh, I have an apartment in LA. Let's go."
Yeah.
He financed the movie himself.
$6 million. $6 million from what I heard. Yeah.
But he paid everyone self-financed, so we have no idea how he got that money.
That's so crazy.
Even there's a scene. I don't know if that's a spoiler or not. It doesn't matter. The bank.
Oh no, I was gonna say that scene too.
Yeah, I guess
you don't have to say what.
Yeah, you don't need to say the joke, but I guess they just.
So we just don't know where he gets his money from.
Yeah,
exactly.
But they said how old he is and where he's from.
How do people not know this? Like, it just feels like in the time of the information age, it would be easy to know.
Well, he just stuck to his story. He's from New Orleans.
Yeah.
That's his.
He's like,
what
accent?
Still sticks to it.
Yeah,
like he's been on talk shows recently. Like I think he went on Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
He wants to be like all American.
Yeah.
I feel like almost like he got in an accident and then he got big money out of it.
Maybe
that's what I want.
But that much money?
Maybe.
I mean,
that's a lot of money.
Yeah. Must have been brain damage.
I feel like he's from some Eastern European country.
He's a prince.
And they did something like I don't know, maybe shady, maybe not shady. Maybe he was like an art dealer. Maybe he did drug dealer. I don't know, something weird like that. He's running away from people.
I mean,
I don't know. I got really
into Hollywood. That seems like the worst place to hide out.
I know it seems like it, right? But
it seems like a Tommy thing to do, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, hello, Train.
Hi, Train.
Oh, hi, Train. So, all right. Well, with that being said, I think I've got a pretty general idea, but I want to hear your experiences with The Room itself. Where did you guys first watch it?
Can I go first?
Yeah, sure. Go right ahead. Again, I have not seen it, so I keep hearing about its midnight showings and whatnot. Go ahead.
I want to give a shout out to my friend Edie Black. I had never heard of The Room or anything, but her and her sister had an extra ticket to go see it midnight showing at the time it was the Sunset Lemley in Hollywood. And so they're like, you have to come. They asked me, do you want to go see The Room? And I'm like, what's that? Like, you don't know what it is? All right, you're coming with us. So I went, and there was a ton of people. There was 5 theaters, so it's a Lemley 5 Sunset. All 5 theaters were packed.
Seriously.
For The Room, and Tommy was there.
And this is 2006.
2006, yeah, like about 2006. And Tommy was there, and he's like jumping up in everyone and talking, and he's like all these walls, and he's like jumping on the wall, and like have everyone scream and cheer, and he has like merchandise that he's selling there and stuff
just
like
his face.
Yeah, it's like it was so funny, but the experience itself, I'm probably gonna get a lot of slack for this, but if you haven't seen it in the theater, it's so fun. It's probably more fun than Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I don't know anyone who will give you slack for that, but go. Yeah, okay.
It's just so much fun.
All right.
Oh, maybe they're Thai. I will say that maybe they're Thai, but it's like that. It's interactive. There's people who throw spoons. Because there's pictures of
there's pictures of
framed.
Did they explain that?
No,
nothing.
Actually, they should have. That's true. Did Tommy do the art direction for that?
I don't think so. I think he had someone. I mean, they had like every major role.
I mean, the idea of framing spoons is just too fucking silly.
Hi, doggy.
Yeah, weird old pug. It's like the ugliest dog I could have gotten.
Mike, what about you? What was your experience with The Room?
My experience with The Room was I kept seeing trailers for it on Adult Swim on Cartoon Network, and I thought it was actually a Cartoon Network or an Adult Swim made film. I didn't realize it was something separate. So I thought that was the joke, like we've made this bad movie, now watch it. And Adult Swim, they kind of took liberties and kind of so they kept promising showing the whole film, and they kept saying like it's a rated R film, but we got permission to show it anyways. So they did show the whole film, but they didn't cut out any of the sex scenes. There's sex scenes in this film, and they just covered
spoiler.
Like, so there's just censor everywhere, so you just hear the sex scenes going on, and
God,
it's really funny. Adult Swim.
Also, Disaster Artist, there's sex scenes because you see James Franco's butt.
Yeah.
The sex scenes are never that graphic, so it's funny that it's like that they had to cover it that much. It's really just his butt.
Yeah,
they minutes long.
Yeah, they totally took liberty of just overly censoring it, and
Cartoon Network messed up because apparently, according to Tommy, that's what sold his movie was his butt. You guys, make sure to get my butt. So I saw the movie.
Oh God, Alex, what about you? What was your experience with The Room?
Mine's way more boring. I feel like than either of those stories. I just heard about it. I forget how. I think someone told me about it and happened to find it on YouTube, like the full film, and I was just like, all right. It was like one night. I had nothing to do. I had nothing to watch. I was just like, I don't know how long.
That's literally my nights. Where I'm like, I'll watch it.
I know. It was like one of those nights where you're like, this is supposed to be the worst movie of all time. I'm gonna watch it tonight. This is gonna be that night. And it was like, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago or so. Yeah. And I just sat there and I was like, yep, this is as bad as everyone says. But you just laugh so much throughout.
All right.
Because it's just.
I've got a very, very silly yet not so serious question. Is this worse or better than the Star Wars Christmas special?
The Room?
Yes. Because the Star Wars Christmas special is terrible.
But
I feel like the Star Wars Christmas special is unwatchable.
It really is.
And this is watchable.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was just all right. So now I know. All right. I might actually watch The Room then, because.
But don't watch it alone.
Yeah, I agree
you
with
gotta
Dan. You gotta. It's a midnight theater experience.
Definitely.
I cannot.
I've wanted to go.
That's bullshit.
All right.
It kind of reminds me of like a. It's almost like a true story version of Bowfinger. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Bowfinger is the one with Eddie Murphy. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
it was Eddie Murphy and Steve Martin.
Where he's running across the street.
It's a buddy film where they're just following their passion and it turns out horrible, but there's still charm to it. So in a way, they succeed at it.
Yeah.
And I think in the same way with the Disaster Artist, as Dan had mentioned, this film is also a buddy film, and I think it culminates in the very end when Tommy Wiseau's heartbroken because everybody is laughing at what in his mind was going to be this.
I've heard this
dramatic
film,
piece. But it's heartbreaking, but at the same time, like I think it's Greg Sestero's friendship that kind of, or based on the film, I don't know if that's how it really happened.
Well,
but
yeah. So at the end of the film, they also go ahead and talk about the real life people.
Oh,
and there's also right after the movie ends, there's like a little side screen of the actual film and what they filmed themselves,
nice.
Which was awesome to watch side by
great.
side. And then after that, there was a post-credit scene. Did you see the post-credit scene?
Yeah, should I say it? Is this also a spoiler?
Yeah,
I don't want to say this one.
Spoiler.
I won't say this one.
Stick
But I did
around
see
for the
it.
post-credit.
Okay.
You should definitely.
There is a
okay.
post-credit scene.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate
Definitely
that.
stick around
Okay.
till the end. Yeah,
Got it.
for sure.
Okay.
But apparently, they're still best friends, and
Alex
they still
is
talk
like,
every
I
day.
did not.
Yeah.
Sorry. They're actually going to make another film together. I think it's already been filmed. I was looking at it. It's called Best Friends, but with the but
Tommy
best
and Greg.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Best Friends, Best Fiends. Looks interesting,
That
but
one looks horrible too.
does it?
Have you not seen the trailer for it? Has anyone seen the trailer?
No. I just saw a
Have you
poster.
seen it?
I might have.
It looks.
Is that
I don't know if
where
it's gonna be
there's,
as bad good as this one is.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
It actually just looks bad.
Yeah.
It's like about I think
I think I have seen it where like Tommy Wiseau they're on the run or something with money and
it's like okay, so Greg is I think his family is killed. And then Tommy, he's wandering the street with a blood-soaked shirt. I don't know why.
Yeah,
and then Tommy sees him and he's driving a hearse and he's
I did see that.
He's
you
come
can join
on,
me.
I'll give you a job. I'll help you get your revenge. And then apparently he steals gold teeth from dead bodies and he's a mortician.
I did see that.
Yeah, and then it turns into
trailer.
this weird gangster type film where they
It wants to be like John Wick.
Oh,
not
please.
as action packed, but more the drama gangster films where then Greg's character starts to kind of get too involved with the money and then they start going at each other and I don't know. And he might be a vampire. Tommy might be in this one. I'm not sure.
To be fair though, I feel like Tommy is a vampire.
Yeah,
I think so.
potentially.
Pictures we see, yeah.
But real
looks-
quick, let's also talk about how James Franco directed this film.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I completely forgot about that.
Because I didn't realize that he directed it until I saw. I mean, I guess I had known, but I forgot. And then it says directed by James Franco.
Yeah.
And it ended. I was like, oh wow, actually, it was really, really well directed.
Yeah,
It
which
was.
is good to
I
hear.
mean, he
because
must have done so much research watching the room
you
so
must have.
many times to get those shots
yeah.
side by
I
side.
did see an interview with Seth Rogen, and they were talking about how when they saw it he saw it with James Franco, he could break down the scenes. So he had already. I guess it was just a passion project for him, and I'm glad he did well because he hasn't really been on a good role of directing either. He did. Was it Son of God? No, the Child of God, which looked awful. He also did one called The Institute, which I didn't see, but it may have been better. But of course, yeah. So you're saying the directing style is really good in this?
That's great.
Yeah, it was well done.
I think he learned from the people. I was saying earlier about Judd Apatow. I feel like he's learned, but in some ways done a different style of it. Learned that kind of comedy drama and how to balance it really well. And because I think it definitely does a really good way of balancing both. Humor and serious, character studies as well.
I agree. I think they grounded everybody else enough to balance out Tommy Wiseau's character, who you do end up feeling for. I think as bizarre as he is, I feel like there are moments where you can kind of connect with him as a person.
And I think you got to give credit to the writers for this, Weber and Neustadter, who wrote 500 Days of Summer and Paper Towns. Hey, Rigo, right there. Sorry, it's
Goes to Paper Towns.
I wonder what happened there.
well, it's Rigo. You know what you did. Sorry.
Also,
right.
James and Dave are great together too.
Well, of course they're
brothers.
Great to the brothers.
It's the first movie the first thing they've ever done together.
Oh,
There's like a weird fact about this. Like they've never. I think they've like interviews together, but they've never done an actual movie.
In the South by Southwest interview, they said that they did a Funny or Die sketch of James Franco giving Dave Franco bad acting advice. And so when he James Franco, he actually read the book first before he saw the movie, and then he just got like super interested in making this film, as you had mentioned before, as like a passion project. But he from the beginning he envisioned him and his brother playing a Tommy and
that's
Greg.
cool. That's cool.
So.
Rigo laughs, by the way. Rigo went, ha.
Nice.
Do you want to let Alex in that inside joke?
I don't think there's much to be said except that I reviewed it and I gave it a good review, and he said, "How dare you?" I think that's really where it comes.
Well, which movie?
This is for Paper Towns. I said it was like perfectly okay. You know, it was an interesting film, but he really hated it. So that's where it comes from. To be fair, Rigo, how's the shower? Are you listening to us on the shower again? No, I'm just messing with you.
That was very creepy, by the way.
It's very creepy. Ha 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 ha. I did not.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah. Okay.
See, close it up.
Yeah, let's close it up. Any final thoughts, Mike?
Watch The Room, as Dan had suggested during a midnight screening.
Okay.
Which I look forward to.
They're also doing double screenings. When it comes out wide, because right now it's limited.
All right.
So they'll do double whammy, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really
with
cool,
that. All right,
actually.
So can you also give me an impression of Tommy before we?
I cannot do that.
All right, Alex. Final words with an impression.
Oh man, I can't do the impression. I gotta,
Mark has some weird friend.
Yeah. I can't even try. Yeah,
It's okay. Go for it.
Yeah, no. Overall, a great film. I think definitely see The Room if you get a chance before. I think it's really fun for people like me who are in filmmaking and like can see this behind the scenes kind of stuff. Like a really funny little joke is a thing where they go to a place called Burns and Sawyer, and like I've actually been to Burns and Sawyer. I've like the company I work for has like rented from them, and so like it's such a weird like I know who exactly that is like, and such a weird kind of
it's like surreal
surreal experience like knowing who they're talking about.
That's really cool.
So I think if you know that kind of stuff too, it's like also adds an extra layer of fun.
So like for film nerds, it would really be like a
definitely yeah. But yeah, just an overall great film.
All right, one final laugh.
That's your impression. There you go.
There you go. Dan, final words.
I was actually really happy with the film. Definitely go watch it in theaters. Definitely worth the watch. Just like The Room is. Go watch The Room in theaters. It's a lot of fun. I thought the acting was great. Directing was well. The story was so good. And it just gives you insight on one of the worst movies ever made that can potentially be nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah, that's going to be kind of fun to see Tommy Wiseau at the Oscars. Yeah.
James Franco nominated for Best Actor, I'm sure.
Yeah,
sure.
Best Adapted Screenplay, I'm sure.
Oh, okay, cool.
And you're tearing me apart, see?
That's good.
That was bad. All right, I'll give my verdict. I think that I'm going to go watch it in theaters. I've never seen it, The Room, so I think I may just go watch this one first and then go watch The Room whenever there may or may not be a midnight screening.
You gotta go.
I might just do a YouTube thing.
Just do YouTube. Just do that. Do that first, and then.
Okay. All right. So that sounds like a plan. All right. Dan, I throw the hosting duties back at you. Sadly, I don't have an empty water bottle to throw at you.
I do.
Oh shit.
Thank you, Z, for hosting, and we all got points. Yay!
You guys, well, you two should not.
Alex will get some boba.
Yeah, boba for sure. Yeah.
Get in there.
Thank you, Alex, so much for being on the show. If you want, do you want to promote anything you're working on, or promote Awkward Silence?
Oh, I mean, It's coming. It's almost there. I don't know. I think
you want to tell him that? So he was DP on Awkward Silence. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? No?
I'm sure. Yeah.
Manny was here not that long ago.
Yeah, Manny was here probably.
And Manny's going to be here next week too.
Oh, okay. Then he'll promote it. It's fine. It's a movie that I DP'd and it's coming out sometime maybe this year.
Oh, put your website?
Yeah, sure. It's alexanderldunn.com. Just all my stuff's on there. I think it'll probably be updated. I think I have something else. I got a short film I shot for someone recently, so I'll probably put that on there.
Awesome. We look forward to it. Thank you so much,
thank
Mike, for being on the show.
Thank you, Dan.
And I'm Dan the Man. Until next week, we have an all-new episode of Movie Menu Reviews. Thank you, guys. Until next time, goodbye.
Yeah, that was good.